when you're playing a championship program, somebody asked me, what can we take away from that? And what I talk to our kids about on the quick turnaround with one-day prep was the details that are most important. And when you watch a program like Drake, what they do is intentional and detailed, from the timing of their cuts to the way they seal in to the intentionality of how they push the ball up the floor and run the floor every time. That's what I told when we watch film. That's what I wanted our young kids to watch. I told them the amount of effort it would take in guarding that. I told them Drake used to call me 10, 15 years ago to schedule games, and I'm like, nope, I'm not scheduling that, because it's tough. It's tough to guard that system, especially when they spread the floor, and 4 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5 can shoot the three. We had some moments where I think we had about a 4-minute run where they didn't score, or they only scored 2 points, and that was exhausting for our players, but that's the effort that it takes. I talked to our kids about a fresh start today and acknowledging the need of having to take that fresh start and whatever it would take to unclutter some of the baggage that, we're carrying with us. I was proud of some of my kids in terms of how Issa moved throughout the zone. And you can't stand. Once we got some ball reversal going, we got some good looks in the second and third quarters. But it was about forgetting what any numbers we had put up prior to that, or I wasn't doing this, or I haven't done that. Focus on what we can do. And I thought she did that. I thought Mia as well. She always plays hard. She always runs the floor. And she was rewarded by that, by just punishing them inside and being big inside, and our kids getting them the ball. Defensively, we went by the numbers. Surprisingly, they hadn't been shooting the ball as well, which is a credit to some of the teams that they've placed the last 2 games, coming in with a couple of losses. So analytically, we looked at the spots on the floor where they hadn't been shooting it from, and of course today they shot it well from that spot, knocking down 18 of those. So we were playing the numbers. They were averaging about 30% from outside, but about 70% from the inside. So our kids were heavy there. We were still late getting out on some of those rotations. We wanted to contest them, but they still got some open looks, and they hit them down. They hit them.
Playing 5 freshmen most of the last 6.5 minutes of the game. I mean, I know part of that's a game situation and all that. Is that something that we might see a little more potentially down the stretch?
Oh, if my kids aren't playing hard, I'll be honest. I took my starters out because they start moping, and a little bit of that disease of me creeped in there. And I know that's hard, but that's what I talk to them about. It's hard as adults and as young adults when things aren't going your way. You make a choice. There's a choice there. And you make that choice to get caught up in it and woe is me, I can't hit a shot, or you get down and you just play your butt off. And there are a couple times where we're crowded down there, and God, they're always around me, so I don't run back hard on defense and my girl lays up a layup. We got to get rid of that. We got to get rid of that, and that's hard, and I wasn't going to sit there and watch that. After we had given a good effort, I wanted my freshmen to get a chance to get in there because they've earned it. They've earned it, and we saw the result of it. Now, towards the end of that fourth quarter, we got a little selfish and started jacking some shots, which led to them getting some more transition in the game, getting more out of hand than it was. But for the most part, I was proud of my freshmen because they gave me a solid effort.
You're talking about effort. There's one play I think of right away, Mia running back down the floor after she made a shot, being the first one down. Even they scored pretty quickly after that. How much of that speaks to the top of motor you've seen from her in practice and in the games this year?
Well, I've seen it, and just like today, because I know which guard she beat down the floor that was supposed to be there. And that happens when we're running 34s or 16s. I got kids that they're going to make their time, but they're just trying to make their time. And Mia's trying to get better because she wants to get on that floor. And how we've been playing her has been looking at matchups and She might not be able to chase that. She might not. But heck, if we're going to give it up anyway, I'm going to play my youth and I'm going to get them ready for what's to come because they're working hard in practice as well. I just need them locked in a little bit more on the game plan. But we see that from her all the time. And I'm going to push her because I'm greedy and I want more from her.
Gift struggled today, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they seemed like they had a pretty good plan on her, and some of the shots you normally see from her hitting, you see her hit, weren't dropping. Is that kind of one of those deals where maybe frustration overcomes the rest of it a little bit?
Well, a little bit. The only other player is our Kiera Love. That's won Defensive Player of the Year. Every other one has been Anna Miller. And so that's a big part of it is you give that kid credit. The second part of it is there's a responsibility and accountability that comes with being really good. Gift's really good right now, and so teams are preparing for her. So you got to work a little bit harder in the places where you could beat them. Is like you saw me, sprint down the floor. Go get that. You got to have that different gear, and we're working with Gift to show her that. It's new for her. All this is new. She, like I said, she might be a junior academically, but still, she's a new body in this system, and she's going to get it. She's going to get that, and she'll understand where those are coming from. I thought she did a pretty good job after Anna as a senior, when Anna got that ball inside the last game, she had 13 turnovers, reminiscent of Gift's. I think she had like 5 today. Yeah. The same thing. She was just holding it a little too long. Now our kids, we had a chance to go dig because she pushed that ball on the floor a couple times, but our kids are hesitant because they're shooting it so well to go get it. But I think that's something Gift can learn from. I showed her Miller's turnovers from the last time as well because they're very reminiscent of hers.
So now that you're off until Friday now, what do you want to see from this group in terms of development as you start getting ready to go play Illinois State?
There's only one thing. There's one thing. We will get back to our defensive game plan, but our practices as we move into February get shorter and shorter, and that's intentional because we know of the wear and tear that's on our kids' bodies. But when I always stick around the gym, and when I release them, I watch who scatters. Yeah. And now our men practice in the morning, so ain't nobody coming on the court after us. Yeah. But I watch who scatters. I watch who stays in the gym. And as I told my coaches, you know what? If they're not going to stay, we get these individual workouts in. I'm not using all of my hours. We got to get these kids back in the gym shooting and getting some game shots if they're going to get opportunity.
Mia, just from your perspective, what did you think of what happened out there today?
I think we were pretty solid in the first half. Like, we struggled, of course. I think we were pretty solid, though. And I think it was just more so defensively scrambling out to, like, all the threes and stuff. So, yeah.
How different is that team from others you've played this year because of what they do offensively in terms of the ball movement?
It was different for the simple fact, like I'm not, like, the teams we previously played, I'm not used to them just, like, scrambling, passing out or the 5, like, coming out to shoot threes and stuff. So that was, like, what was really different, like the fast ball movement.
For you personally, you have 13 points, your new career high. How much confidence you gain when you see the ball go through the hoop a couple of times for you?
I gain a lot of confidence. It just builds me up, like, okay, you can do this. Take your time, because I noticed, like, when I wasn't really, like, scoring previous games, like, I would just rush it for the ball to get out of my hands. So just taking my time and running the floor.
You don't feel like you have to get rid of it quite as quickly when you have a little bit of success then, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Coaches talked about your motor all the time. How much do you take pride in being that high energy player?
I take a lot of pride in it, especially as like a big. I take pride in, like, being able to go up and down as quick as I do and get down the floor as quick as I do. So yeah.
But as you get towards February now, where do you want to get better individually? What would you like to see this team be able to do to kind of get some of these games going in your direction to win a few games here?
Mm-hmm. Individually, I would like to, like, take my time more and, like, just go over, like, you do the easy things, like go over my left shoulder and stuff. And I feel like as a team, I would like to see us fight more defensively, because it's like offensively will come once we, like, take care of defense.
Isabella, what do you think? What did you think about today's game from your perspective?
Well, I think they started out playing zone defense, which gave us different looks from what we're used to. Normally we really want to get the ball inside, but we struggle since they're scrambled on gift, and so I had different looks. I had to find my open spots, and offensively, or their offensive, they have a quite fast pace, so finding the open persons and scramble out, that was like what we struggled with.
You found some looks in the second quarter. You had 10 points. What was working for you offensively from that perspective?
I would say just finding the open spots in their zone. We have some plays where I just had to go and run my butt off and get to the place where I'm supposed to be, and then my teammates, they found me, and yeah.
What's the biggest thing you're learning to try to do on a regular basis playing ball over here as opposed to Denmark?
Being much tougher. People are on like my height, but they're so much stronger than me, so I have to be so much tougher with the ball, and when I attack, just really like hold on to the ball and.
Just being stronger with the basketball. Then?
Yeah.
Asking your coach and Mia about the way Drake plays offensively, how difficult is their ball movement to deal with?
It was very difficult. I think we should communicate more since we were lacking like in the scramble situations. They always found the last person that was open where we were just one step behind every time. And when we thought we had it, there was just like one more pass.
Overall, what do you think this team can do? This last number of conference games to get a few wins to maybe build a little more confidence going down the stretch. What do you think is the biggest key?
Execute our playbook and our game plan. It clearly works. The good looks we had came from what we were supposed to do. We just gotta be stronger in the execution of it all.